Hello.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of You Are Heard. This episode is very special to me. I'm excited to have my dear friend Alicia and her beautiful daughter Jordan.
Hi guys.
Yay! Shout out to the cameraman. Woo, Avery. All right, no more talking. But okay, so this episode is special. We are touring the journey of adoption. So we're gonna get right into it. So tell us about your story. Jordan is adopted. Tell us
Yes.
how all of that came about.
So it happened. That's the beginning. Happened like the middle of 8th grade year. In the 8th grade year, that's when we went virtual because of COVID, and I started going over there like every weekend, like every Friday, and stayed till Sunday, every day.
Who was she before then? Who was because they don't know her. So
Right.
So we gotta start from the beginning. So
Okay,
the beginning of
so-
the story would be that so Jordan, as a child, was adopted out of foster care with her 3 half sisters. By a friend of mine. We used to work together, and when my friend adopted them, she asked me to be their godmother. So her and her biological sisters. So I've known her since she was like 8-ish as her godmother, and then like she said, around when she was in 8th grade, the summer before 8th grade, she so this would have been 2020 when COVID hit. Her sisters were young enough to go to Boys and Girls Club. Boys and Girls Club was still open, but they had like limited seating, but she couldn't go. So her and her youngest sister, they spent the summer with me. They would come over during the day, and we used to call it TT Galisha Daycare.
Yeah.
So I was like working from home, and her younger sister would come over, and we had summer camp. So that's when we kind of like really started spending a lot of time together, like outside of her other sisters. The baby was there, but they were only like 4, right. 3 or 4 then. But so that's when we kind of started spending a lot of one-on-one time together. And then after that summer, because she was used to coming over, she would come over on the weekends and babysit for me. So at the time I was in nursing school, so her mom would let her come and like babysit Jeremiah Jackson like while I was home. And she would like help watch them so that I could study. So we spent a lot of time together with that. Yeah. And then her mom began to notice like how comfortable Maya was, or Jordan Maya. So that we go interchangeable with the names. So she started to notice like how comfortable she was with us and how Maya was your previous name.
It was Camille Amaya, and then Danae Sampson. That was what it was. Okay. It's not anymore, guys. Okay. Yes.
So she's so goofy. So her original biological name from her birth was Shemaya. So then when she was adopted the first time,
sorry guys. See that? I haven't seen that.
Yeah, her name was Shemaya. So then when she was adopted the first time, she was already used to going by Maya. Everyone called her that. So her mom named her Camille Amaya, and we kept calling her Maya. So then when Aya adopted her, and she chose to change her name, which we'll get into that, I kept Maya as her middle name so that she could continue to go by Maya naturally. But anyway, so she was spending time with us. Her mom noticed that she was like really comfortable with us, did well with us. I would tutor her, help her in school. At the time, she was at Pepin Academies because she had some learning disabilities. So I would spend time like teaching her and helping her because I really wanted her to graduate from high school. So then April 1st of 2021, her mom called and asked if I could keep her temporarily. And I said yes. I hadn't even talked to my husband yet. But she asked if I could keep her temporarily. So I was like, cool, like anything to help you out. And I recognized like it was a lot on her. She was single. She is a single mom. She had 4 girls and she's young. She's like my little brother's age. So I think when she adopted them, she might have been like 21, 22 and adopting 4 kids out of the system. That's insane. So it's just a lot on her as a single mom. So she asked if I would take Maya temporarily. And I understood because Maya, it was a lot with her learning disability and things like that, as well as balancing all the kids. So I say yes. I was already used to her being in my house every weekend anyway. So she kind of naturally came. And then she never left. August of that year, so August 2021, her mom asked if I would be willing to make it a more permanent arrangement. And, I kind of asked her what she meant. She asked if we were willing to adopt her. And I said yes. Once again, I talked to Marquis first. But I said yes. And then we started our journey towards adoption.
Yep.
Okay. So how was the process with the paperwork? Because a lot of us don't know, especially in our community, unless you're running a foster care system, we don't really adopt. So for you and your family to have done that, and granted you didn't know her, but what is that like? What is that? Is it a lot of paperwork? Do you get lawyers involved? Is it? It was a lot.
It was a lot. Yeah, it was. It's a lot of money. It costs a lot of money, guys. So, I mean, if you watch, it costs a lot of money. Sorry.
Yeah, she cost a lot of money.
I was very expensive, but jokes aside, it was hard because we had our final adoption date, and then something happened with the papers, and then we had to move it back. So it's a lot of money, waiting, and just because you can't really do anything, and we did it through private, so that was even more expensive. Okay. So yeah, it was a lot of papers.
So she was originally adopted through the foster care system, which a lot of people don't know. If you adopt from the foster care system, it is free. Right. So the fees are waived, your attorney is covered, and the system takes care of all your paperwork, as well as then you are entitled to a subsidy that you get every month to help care for the child and stuff like that. But with our situation, I didn't want to go through the system. One, because I didn't want to jeopardize my other godchildren's home. So in order to get the system involved, you have to get investigators involved, and there has to be a legal removal and all that kind of stuff. And I didn't want to do that because her mom was a good person and she's a good mom, and I didn't want to impact the other three children's home, as well as I didn't want Maya to have to go through being taken from her home again. I didn't want it to be a traumatic experience. So once her mom and I were kind of maneuvering the best way to do it, and we agreed that private would be the best. So we got the best adoption attorney in Hillsborough County, Jeannie Tate, but she is retired now, but she still has an agency. But anyway, we got her, and she helped us, and it took us, let me think, we started the process in August of 2021, and we finalized December
15th, 2022.
Yeah. So it took us a little over a year of paperwork. And that's with the child literally already living in our house. Yeah. And they go through everything. So they had to do a home study. They went through all our finances. We had to submit a budget. They had to interview all the children alone and make sure they were in agreement, interview our parents. We had to have recommendation letters. It was a whole thing. And then, like she said, it costs a lot of money to adopt privately. A lot. Yeah. So get your coins together. Yes, a lot of money. Yeah. But it's worth it. It is worth it. And they do have scholarships and grant programs out there. So we got a grant through Gift of Adoptions. And they paid our final balance, which was probably $6,000 was left at that point because we had been making payments. So they paid our final balance. So they do that. We had some family members who contributed, and then me and Marquis just made payments. A lot of people don't know that your job may have reimbursement programs. So I work for Advent Health. So after our adoption was finalized, I did get a reimbursement of $10,000 to adopt. So a lot of companies have that. I know state jobs do it. So state jobs will reimburse you as well. But yeah, Advent Health, they reimbursed us $10,000 towards our adoption. I want to go back a little bit to where you say they had to interview everyone, your parents and stuff like that. I want to talk about the change of environment. Because even though y'all have known each other for, it was a role change. It's a real change, especially in your later years. Women go through, young girls, hormonal things, changes, balances, all that type of stuff. How was that? How was that on both of y'all parts? How was that?
You go first.
No, you go.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. It's a journey. And trying to figure out how to maneuver it was difficult. Before I became a nurse, I was a social worker. So I knew the textbook way of adopting. I knew to get the adoption competent therapist and all these different things. I knew what services needed to be in place, and I tried to do it the textbook way. And there's nothing against that way. That works for some people. But to me, that didn't seem to work for us. What worked for us was just kind of having a village of just trusted adults. You played a role in that, being able to talk me off of a ledge, but also being able to talk to Jordan. It was a lot of different times where I definitely think insecurities played a part. Insecurity of, here I was adopting a child who I was doing my best to love like I birthed her, but recognizing that she had two other moms out there. So a biological mom and a previous adoptive mom. And that was a lot, because where do I fit in this? Like, as the new mom, like how do I fit? Where do I fit in that? And then even for her, like, not speaking for her, we adopted outside of the birth order. So within our homes, suddenly we had a new oldest child, where Jeremiah was used to being the oldest. So there was a new oldest child. There was now another girl, so now I have two girls. So the nail bill goes up, the hair bill goes up, things like that. But no, everyone just trying to find their place. We already had, like, Jeremiah was a mama's boy, Jackson was a daddy's girl. So where does Maya fit in this? Like, is she mommy's girl? Is she daddy girl? Like, how does that work? So I think just a big identity thing. I never thought that I was an insecure person, but I think I struggled for years of just finding my place. And it came down to a point where probably a year ago, with, like, when we would have little issues, and I would just apologize. I'm trying my best. I'm trying to do the best I can, be the best mom for you, and blah, blah. And she finally had to tell me, like, Mom, you're enough. Like, you're my mom, but you're enough. You don't have to try. You're already a great mom. So it was a lot, like, with the roles changing. As much as I would have thought, like, oh, we knew each other, it would be easy. It's a lot. And then you're talking about, a preteen going into a teenager, somebody who already has a menstrual cycle, she got hormones, and just trying to balance all of that, as well as I was in nursing school. So I'm stressed, I'm busy, I'm trying to balance work, school. I got two other kids. So it was just a lot. So I definitely think that for us, it was a village. My parents helped a lot. You helped us. We tried therapy. She didn't really like that much. Um, but my friend Aina at work, she kind of had to play middleman with us. And I think eventually we got it right. Now, for the most part, I would say we work things out with just ourselves. Like, we're able to just do it like a traditional mom and daughter, but it took a journey to get there.
And I would say, like, I don't know the full experience, but even when I would talk to you too, it's more so because here comes this young person who has been through God knows what, and you want to offer them the best you can, but still trying to figure out who you are in this process. So I understood both standpoints. That's why I would talk to you from a parental point of view, but then just from, hey, just Jordan, just Maya, just, I get it. Mamas, we could be a lot sometimes, and I'm a boy mom, so I can talk to girls more because I don't live the experience, but I get it because I have a mom. I've been a teenager, but sometimes when we parent girls, we forget our, so we're parenting out of insecurity, out of fear, out of trying to be perfect, all that type of stuff, because we want the best for y'all. So what did you think about that time, that transition point?
I mean, it was hard. I didn't really know how to slip in or kind of fit in, because it went to god sister to a sister actually. So I don't want to go in the house, then step on anybody's toes, because I don't know what to call, oh, mommy, because if somebody came in my house and started calling my mom, I was like, okay, wait, hold up. No. So I didn't want to feel hope Jeremiah and Jackson felt that way. So I was kind of slowly easing, you know what I mean? But it's really hard too. It's I don't know. It's really hard.
Yeah, but was it, going through that transition, was it more so and then figuring out your place, your way, like you said, what to call her, how to interact with your younger brother, so which they love you, by the way, they are close. This is a tight knit family. You know what I mean? Y'all, you wouldn't even know that you're adopted.
I agree 100%. I think if God blessed anything in this situation, it was the transition of the siblings. And I'm just so grateful to God, because I know just how petty and mean kids can be, but I've never ever witnessed them say, and she can confirm, I've never witnessed them, my mama, or you don't even live here, or it's always been my sister, Jordan, like they adore her. They do. Even when they're fighting, just never, they may say other mean things to each other and argue and tit for tat, but it's never been thrown in her face that she's adopted or that she's, it's as if she was always there. Sometimes I don't know if Jackson remembers because she was like 4 when Maya moved in. Sometimes I don't think Jackson even remembers life without her because they're that close. I'm talking, I'll put your business out. I'm talking baths together, close, sleep in the same bed. Like Jackson has a loft bed and it's all the way up high, and her big self will climb all the way up there and sleep with her. You know, I literally have to go into both of their bedrooms just to see like where did they decide to sleep tonight. So extremely close. You know, so I definitely think that was a blessing how that part transitioned because I don't like that was never a problem. Even though there could have been insecurities on her part, and I definitely don't want to discount that because she probably didn't know how to come in, but they never felt any kind of way about it.
And I'm glad that because y'all did a closed adoption and a private adoption, you're still able to be in contact with your other siblings. Because a lot of times, too, in adoptions, someone or family might want one child. They don't want everyone, you know, and they get cut off from their biological family. So that's a blessing to be able to still have a connection with them as well.
It is. She still has a connection with basically. So she's allowed to have contact with all of her family. So we've never closed that off. And her youngest sister and Jackson are actually best friends. So the youngest sister comes over for sleepovers sometimes, and they're able to spend time together and stuff like that. And still nothing negative ever comes up when the baby comes over. They just play. There is no like my sister or anything like that. It just is. So it works.
A little story time. And we worked out before this. We did a little fitness to warm us up for this. So
there'll be in the comment section.
Like that. But backstory, I'm a hairstylist, right? Outside of this. And how I started being a hairstylist, my best friend is adopted and her mother ran a foster home, which you know.
Right. So I went to high school with your best friend.
Yeah. So ever since we were 11 years old, my mom would drop me off on the weekends, every break, and in the summertime. And all the kids who would come in, you know, in passing, we had to do their hair. So that's how I started braiding. That's really how I started doing hair and got a passion for just making people feel good. Because you would get kids who went through God knows what, but you just know that you have this kid in the corner shaking, and all you can do is make her feel pretty. You don't know who's coming to get her after that. You don't know, you know, she is just praying that whatever happened to her before here doesn't happen now. So that was our way of bonding with the kids. And I just got a heart for people through that. You know what I mean? So to me, adoption and her mom is, she's seasoned, but she's spicy, okay? But she has a heart of gold. And to me, those people come once in a lifetime. And to be able to have over 30 children that are not yours.
She don't have more than that.
But that are adopted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, she's had a lot passed through, but she's actually adopted a lot of them. And I'm like, that.
She's an angel.
Yes.
She is.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a really, really beautiful thing. And I you know, if you have the ability to, I suggest it. Just watching and knowing the stories and stuff that people have. And, you know, why not? Why not? And there's a lot of people who can't have children, and adoption should be a way. So would you recommend it?
I would. You know, and this is coming from somebody who did not have a heart for adoption. Okay, well, let me change that. I actually was okay with adopting. My husband was very close off to it. So when I asked him, like when we first got married, he was like, no, like if you can have kids, why would we adopt? Like you just birth them. So it was after he kind of made his position clear, it was just never something we talked about. But in hindsight, I have absolutely no regrets. She was the missing piece. I thought that I was complete because I had a boy, I had a girl, like I was good. But my family was incomplete before Maya came. So 100% would recommend, would do it again. And I do recommend it for others because, you know, sometimes foster kids get like a bad rap for like being a bad kid, but so many of them are just misunderstood. They're just misunderstood and need love, need structure. And they may resist it, Maya resisted it for a long time, but she does so well with structure. And now, I mean, the issues that we have are minor compared to people that have biological kids. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And she's a product of the system, and it's okay. You know, so I would 100% recommend it. There's so many kids, especially African American kids, who are they're waiting.
Yeah, yeah. What would you say to those children who are waiting but also have been adopted and going through the transition emotionally, mentally? What would be your advice to them?
My advice would be have faith in God. That's the big part of it, and also trust your mother, your father, because even it might like seem like this is too much for me. Like I don't know how to start. I just like be willing to like open your arms and to love them because they may take some time to love. Like just like the loving is different from each other, but you have to be, okay with that, and then over time it's gonna mesh in together, and I think that'll make a perfect daughter, son, or mother and son, whatever.
Yes. Well.
Sorry.
So crazy.
Well, I thank y'all. I thank y'all. I know y'all's story is just beginning. It's beautiful to watch y'all grow and blossom into this. Y'all two peas in a pod. You know what I mean?
That's my baby.
Yeah, but it's beautiful to see. And yeah, definitely if anyone out there has any other questions, I would love to. Are you willing to talk to people
Absolutely
about that? So yeah, if you have any questions, I can connect you guys with her and her daughter, and we can go from there. But I just want to thank you guys for this series.
You're welcome.
No problem.
All right. Thank you for being a part of You Are Heard and watching us tonight, and be back soon. Bye.